Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratare. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaratare. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachare. Yamuna Tira Vanachare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare. Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Srimad Bhagavatam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Tritandik Goswami Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Yam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham Ki Jai Dwarka Dham Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hare. His Complete Founder Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the Assembly devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna. No, it's okay. Thank you very much for this very soft kirtan. It's very interesting for me also to learn, to be soft. I immediately wanted to start heavily, but Ananda Bihari Prabhu then cooled me down and it came out very nice actually. So I had just an interesting, way how to get to know a devotee here during the Guru Puja. My temperament also came out of me. I couldn't hold back. So, but we talked then outside and now I know him. Now I know his name. And it's not actually, one should not in front of the deity correct others, even it is said, nectar of devotion. One should not insult others, one should not correct others in front of the deity. So I just directly in front of Narasimhadev couldn't hold back. I had to do something. But anyway, nice way to get known to others. So the festival is coming. Jai. Looking forward to meet so many new devotees and getting known to them. So please forgive me, please excuse me for this incident. So I hope for your blessings for reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam. We read today from the canto number 7, verse number 36 and 37 of the chapter number 1. Okay, I have to go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Narada Uvacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Sanandanadayo Chakmush Sanandanadayo Chakmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam Charanto Bhuvanatrayam Shri Narada Uvacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Sanandanadayo Chakmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam. Please. Shri Narada Uvacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Sanandanadayo Chakmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam. Shri Narada Uvacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Sanandanadayo Chakmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam. Ladies. Shri Narada Uvacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yatrichchaya Sanandanadayo Chakmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam. Shri Narada Uvacha Shri Narada Muni said, Ekada, once upon a time, Brahmana of Lord Brahma, Putraha, the sons, Vishnu of Lord Vishnu, Lokam, the planet, Yatrichchaya. Anyone knows? By chance. Sanandana, Adayaha, Sanandana and the others. Chakmuhu went, Charantaha, traveling about. Bhuvanatrayam, the three worlds. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great saint Narada said, once upon a time, when the four sons of Lord Brahma, named Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, were wandering throughout the three worlds, they came by chance to Vishnu Loka. Text 37. Panja Shata Yanar Papaha Purvesham Apipurvachaha Digvasa Sa Shishun Matva Dva Stautan Pratyashetatam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although these four great sages were older than Brahma's other sons like Marichi, they appeared like small naked children, only 5 or 6 years old. When Jaya and Vijaya saw them trying to enter Vaikuntha Loka, these two gatekeepers, thinking them ordinary children, forbade them to enter. Purport. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says in his Tantra Sara, Dvahastav iti anenadhikarastatvam uktam adhikarasti taschaiva vimuktaschad vidhachanaha vishnulokastitastesham varasapadi yoginaha adhikarastitam muktim niyatam prapnuvanticha vimukti anantaram tesham varasapadayo nantu dehendriya suyuktascha purvam paschan natairyutaha apimani pistesham dvaisvatmottamairyutaha. The purport is that the personal associates of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha Loka are always liberated souls. Even if sometimes cursed or blessed, they are always liberated and never contaminated by the material modes of nature. Before their liberation to Vaikuntha Loka, they possessed material bodies. But once they come to Vaikuntha, they no longer have them. Therefore, even if the associates of Lord Vishnu sometimes descend as if cursed, they are always liberated. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadati Swapadandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The great saint Narada said, once upon a time, when the four sons of Lord Brahma, named Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, were wandering throughout the three worlds, they came by chance to Vishnu Loka. Although these four great sages were older than Brahma's other sons, like Marichi, they appeared like small, naked children, only 5 or 6 years old. When Jaya and Vijaya saw them trying to enter Vaikuntha Loka, these two gatekeepers, thinking them ordinary children, forbade them to enter. Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. So I'm asking for the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and devotees so that we can start hearing about Lord Nrsimhadev's pastimes. This is kind of the intention why these verses were chosen, not by me. And it starts, of course, the pastime. We know that Jaya and Vijaya, the very dear associates of the Lord in Vaikuntha, somehow or other got cursed. And alone, if we hear this is worth at least a whole lecture or a whole seminar, because this is not the only time we hear that someone in the spiritual world got cursed and then got to us well-known personality here in the material world. So many times we hear this as a description why for example, does a most wonderful and great gopi in the spiritual world appear here in the material world as a plant, and we are worshipping her, and sometimes we hear the explanation because she got cursed in the spiritual world. And this quite often appears, or we hear that quite often actually, but there are different opinions to it. On the one hand, we can just simply accept it. Why not? On the other hand, we can start a whole discussion about it. How could that happen in the spiritual world? Then we can talk about, is a curse in the spiritual world the same what we understand under a curse? And then we can also talk about it. Did it really actually happen? I just recently heard some lectures of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, where he gives his sessions in Vrindavan with devotees. So there are quite the intimate topics discussed, so the Krishna and his intimate devotees in the spiritual world. And then at a certain point it also came to this topic. We heard that this and this devotee got cursed in the spiritual world. And it's very interesting that Maharaj, he from the beginning questioned all this cursing all in all together, because he never found any evidence or that it is really a cursing as we understand it here in the material world. So he questions the whole topic. And even if somehow or other it happened, how important is it for us? But now here we hear that Jaya and Vijaya, definitely it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, they got cursed by the Kumaras, and definitely they had to appear in the material world. And what is very interesting to understand is that although they appeared as huge, big demons, they actually are worthy of glorification. Actually, you must say all glories to Hiranyakashipu. What kind of personality one has to be that he can personally fight in the material world with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and be killed by him? That is actually glorious. Every sane man would pray for this. Please give me also the same mercy, Lord. This is wonderful. And similarly, we look upon the army on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, and all the fighters on the side with Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Karna, and so on. They are glorious. They are glorious that they fought this fight and they were killed at this place. They got elevated, and Krishna confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita. It's already decided they will kill, so therefore kill them. That will be for the benefit of all and would be good for everybody. So therefore, we look upon them in this way, and here it is described to us a little bit more in detail, how we really can understand this. Actually, they appear in the material world in a demoniac body, but actually they are considered to be liberated souls. As soon as they are killed, they take their position in the spiritual world, and they come here for the reason to satisfy Krishna. Prabhupada says that from time to time also Krishna has the desire to have a fight, and therefore he comes into the material world, and a demon is chosen who can fight with him, and then he shows his pastime. So this is actually glorious. And there are a few interesting verses I was looking for in the 7th canto that I wanted to share with you. And yesterday in the evening when I kind of prepared, I was looking a lot. I was looking for the one verse I remembered I found a few years ago in the middle of the pandemic time. And it was a very suitable verse, and I want to share this verse now with you. Please kind of remember how it was 5 years ago here in Germany, outside on the street, in the public condition, how it was to go shopping, Sankirtan devotees, how it was to distribute books. And then I found one verse in the 5th chapter of this canto. And if you're interested, just you can note down, it's 5th chapter, verse number 8. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us an amazing definition of behavior of a devotee towards asuras, demoniac mentality, which we experienced in this time, I would say, if you agree with all that. So it's 785. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the word in the verse, which is very important here, is staptam. Shri Hiranyakashipur uvacha, he durvinita mandatman kulapeta karadhana, staptam machchasano tvritam neshyetvatya yamakshayam. Staptam machchasano tvritam. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the word staptam means obstinate. In Germany, it is translated with halsstarrig, or we can understand very stubborn. And then Prabhupada continues, a devotee does not care for the instructions of the asuras. When they give instructions, he remains silent. A devotee cares about the instructions of Krishna, not those of demons or non-devotees. He does not give any respect to a demon, even though the demon be his father. Prahlad Maharaj was disobedient to the orders of his demoniac father. So this is a quite intense statement. We don't give a fig for what the demons tell us. If the demons tell us we should make a, vaccination, actually if we act according to Bhagavatam, we don't give a fig about it. No, we don't do it. We do what Krishna wants us to do. This is a demoniac instruction, and a devotee does not listen to it. He does not follow it. So it's very, very exemplary, the behavior of Prahlad Maharaj. And throughout the whole 7th canto, we get this emphasis and this message, how the character of Prahlad Maharaj is exemplary for a devotee, and how one should follow the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj stands for remembering Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, remembering Krishna. So also our mind can tell us so many things, like a demon. He tells us, for example, oh, here it is like this, here it is like that. That will come here if I stay here a few days longer. So better I go home. That also our mind can tell us. And this is demoniac. And what should a devotee do if the demon-like mind tells us, better leave the association of the devotees, better go home, better leave the temple? We should not listen. Not listen to him. He is a rascal. Be silent. And Prahlad Maharaj stands for remembering. So therefore our mind, our troublesome mind can become under our control. We should beat him every day in the morning and in the evening, 100 times with our foot, 100 times with a stick. We should beat him for that purpose, that he finally somehow he will be silent. But of course we understand we are not violent to the mind in a practical way with a stick or with the foot. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives us the instruction how we should do it. And he says, the song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhajare, Bhajare, Bhajare Amar. Always remember the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. Always remember, Achasra Smara, Smarare, Smararam, remembering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda and their associates, like Haridas Thakur, Mukunda, and Srila Kavi Karnapurna, Shivananda Sena. Remember them. If you really want love for Krishna, if you really want to have love for Krishna as it is lived in Vrindavan, then always remember. So therefore, this song is advised to us to sing in the morning and in the evening. You foolish mind, remember. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, Mukunda Datta, Srila Kavi Karnapurna, Shivananda Sena, and all the devotees of the disciplic succession, the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. And finally, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So therefore, thinking of Krishna constantly, never forgetting Krishna, while executing our duties. In another verse of the 7th canto is a very interesting statement. In the 9th chapter, verse number 24, there it is stated. Thus Prahlad Maharaj prays that Lord Narasimhadev place him in touch with a pure devotee and servant instead of awarding him material opulence. Once again, Prahlad Maharaj prays that Lord Narasimhadev place him in touch with a pure devotee and servant instead of awarding him material opulence. Every intelligent man within this material world must follow Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj did not want to enjoy the estate left by his father. Rather, he wanted to become a servant of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj did not want to enjoy the estate left by his father. This reminds us, of course, of another example in the scriptures of a personality who hesitated to follow the orders and instructions of Krishna for that reason, because he wanted to share and, so to say, enjoy the kingdom and the opulence with his relatives who would be killed in the battle. Arjuna. If he kills all his relatives, then whatever he gains, happiness, kingdom, opulence, he will not be able to share with his relatives. Therefore he addresses Krishna, O Govinda. Govinda, who is giving pleasure to the senses and the cows. Please, Govinda, understand my desire of sense gratification. And therefore, please let this battle not happen. I don't want to kill my relatives. This is based on sense gratification. Arjuna's desire not to fight, Krishna's arguments why not to fight is all based on sense gratification. This is amazing. And this is the reason why Krishna condemns it. Anarya. So in this way, just an Anarya speaks. Therefore, fight and kill them. This is glorious. So this is actually pretty important for us as devotees to understand. Just imagine someone new comes who is thoughtful, and we talk with him about the Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna is actually advising Arjuna to kill his own relatives. Why actually? Why? Why is it even condemned? It's not even that Krishna just says to Arjuna, kill them. He even condemns it, and he says it's bad if he does not do so. How can it be bad not to kill your relatives? So there is a reason. Actually, this is sense gratification. And we see here on the example of Prahlad Maharaj, even also from this quality, he's completely free. Prahlad Maharaj did not want to enjoy the estate left by his father. He was not in that mood. He was in the mood of being the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. And he prays for the upliftment and benefit of all others, even the most fallen and sinful creatures. So therefore Prahlad Maharaj is highly praiseworthy and so exemplary for us. In other words, he basically lives according to what Krishna wanted from Arjuna. And remembering Lord Narasimhadev, remembering Krishna, the secret of the Bhagavad Gita is to give this understanding to us, how to remember Krishna all the time, especially how to remember Krishna and never forget him in the struggle of existence. Bahir Nisimho Hridaye Nisimho. Narasimhadev is within us and he is without us. Narasimhadev is here residing on the altar very beautifully, but he is not only there on the altar, we should also find him within our heart. This wonderful, beautiful Narasimhadev with his delicate fingers as he is standing in Mayapur, Ugra Narasimha, holding his very soft and very delicate fingers like this, ripping apart Hiranyakashipu. He's so attractive. Isn't it? His fingers are so attractive. Huh? It's very beautiful, very fine. And this Narasimhadev is also ready to use his fingers within our heart to rip apart the demons. Greed, lust, anger, envy, all these things. And he wants us to make a place for him in our heart. A beautiful golden throne, and place the Lord there, meditate upon him, glorify Lord Narasimhadev and pray to him. Yadidas yasime kamang, varangstam varadarshabam, kamanam hridya samroham, pavadastu vrinevaram. My dear Lord Narasimhadev, best of those who give benedictions, if there is any benediction which you want to grant upon me, please let there be no more material desire within my heart. Rip them out of me. Very beautifully and nicely. So, when the devotees from Mayapur, from the TOVP were here, it was so beautiful to see Ukra Narasimha again from Mayapur, the pictures they distributed, this booklet, and I could remember again how beautiful actually this Narasimhadev is. It's very, very wonderful and beautiful. And how more beautiful it is even if he appears very intensely in our mind, So, but this is, Narasimhadev is everywhere. I just want to share with you a few incidences in my life where Narasimhadev was so mystically present, I did not at all count with him. When I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I bought myself a Bhagavad Gita, I bought myself the Nectar of Devotion, I bought myself a Sri Upanishad, then finally I bought myself Canto number 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam actually is the whole set, but then you can, you can only buy the first and the second canto, so to say, as one book. So I started with the third canto, not immediately the whole set, the first canto, and then I bought the second canto, so I got really curious. And at that time I was working in a glassary. Somehow Krishna gave me this job, and I would use what I earned for worshipping Narasimhadev, buying food, offering, following everything which is described in the scriptures. And I didn't make a big show of my so to say spiritual practice. Actually, I didn't want that anyone knows that I am a Hare Krishna. I felt a little bit like ashamed, not ashamed for it, but it was a little bit, they should not know that I'm a Hare Krishna. It's a little bit, it's difficult. But of course I knew that everyone knows, because I like music and I love loud music. So from that time on, every day you could hear Prabhupada shouting like anything from out of my window, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You could hear him over a few streets, And you could hear him so loudly that it started also that the police came to me and visited me, So, but I didn't give a fig to it, although I did not read the 7th canto, but I knew I don't care about you, demons. So I do what Prabhupada tells me in his books. Always chant Hare Krishna as loud as possible, do Harinam, spread the name. I did it in my way, so I continued doing it. And I was still working in this glassary, and this glassary people, who owned the glassary, they were really much Christians, going every week to the church, Even their son was a priest. He became a priest. I mean, can you imagine? Become a priest. That's not a small thing, So they are quite serious in Christianity, and even once talked with him, and they all knew that I am reading these Hare Krishna books. And then once I talked also with him, with the Pfarrer, the priest, and he was smoking, he was sitting in his chair with his priest clothes, and he was smoking a cigarette, and I knew, of course, they are eating meat, of course, Christian, and eat meat is normal, I mean, it's holy even, And then I talked to him, and then finally he said, yes, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything, I have read everything. I was, what? I mean, you're sitting here as a Catholic priest, smoking, eating meat, and you have read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and what went wrong? I mean, if I just read one page, it changes the whole life, And he was pretty easy with it and pretty fine with this practice of his spirituality. And that was not very attractive to me. So everyone actually knew in that family that I am quite interested, I would say. I was at the time also still smoking. I was not a holy man at that time. I could not give up so easily. But everyone knew. And then one day, I remember this day very special. One day I came to the glacier. I went into the, Werkstatt? Huh? Workshop. I went into the workshop where the work is going on, and in the glacier they always have a huge table with a carpet on it, so that you can put the big glass stuff on it. It doesn't break, And I came in, and something was lying there on this carpet table, and I looked at it, and I couldn't believe it. The boss of the glacier got the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and put it on the table for me, and he put it exactly in that way that I could see Narasimhadev. So I came to work, came to my working place, looked at the table, and suddenly 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narasimhadev is lying in front of me. So wow, heavy. And at that time I was also still a little bit naive. I could say, I thought they don't know anything that I like this, I thought I'm kind of a secret Hare Krishna, no one knows, Actually, everyone knew already. He just took the book there, as if it is quite normal. And I was kind of shocked, because it's Krishna himself. I just took it immediately, I took the book, put it in my pocket, and I went home. I started reading. This is how the first time I got 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Someone gave to me, actually. Interesting, came by himself, Krishna, in this way. So then time went on. I started practicing Krishna consciousness. And then after first time I visited the temple here, I got very, very helpful impressions for my mind how to practice Krishna consciousness. Of course, I have mentioned so many times already. I saw the devotees offering the incense to the Lord here on this altar, very artfully, And then when I also came home, I thought, hey, cool, my cigarette. I can also do the same thing with my cigarette. It's nice, Jai Gaura Nitai, So I started offering my burning cigarettes, to Gaura Nitai. I was imitating the Pujari here. And actually, just recently I read from Prabhupada, why do we have temples? Do you know why actually we have temples? It's interesting what Prabhupada gives as a definition. He says the only reason we have temples is that people are coming here and they know how to practice Krishna consciousness at home. This is the only reason why we have temples. They get inspired, they know what to do, and they practice it at home. In other words, they make a temple in their home. That's actually the meaning. So and after that, it just worked up perfectly in my case. I got an altar and I started to offer my cigarettes, like the incense and all this. And then I was also so impressed by the Abhishek ceremony of Narasimhadev every Sunday. Narasimhadev is like bathing, it's like a ritual. So it's so saintly, it's so mystical, magical. The priests only are allowed to do it, And I got so impressed by it. And what I did at home, I was kind of meditating on my rascal neighbors and the rascal police and all these people, all this. I don't do anything you want me to do, On my head stands anarchy, We are a rebellious movement now. I'm a Hare Krishna. I don't care about you. Let Narasimhadev appear here in this village and destroy all of you, like this. I like this very much, this hatred against this stupid society, And then I made a decision. I will install Narasimhadev. I saw it in Simhachalam, how they are worshipping Narasimhadev, so I will install Narasimhadev in my village. So I choose a garage, an old garage, and a garage wall. And the garage wall, everyone can see. If you go from my place into the center of the village, everyone can see this garage wall. And I thought, I will write in huge letters on this garage wall, Narasimha. So I went with a bucket of color in the night time, and I wrote huge on the wall, Narasimha, and then I in a ritual I installed Narasimhadev at the garage wall. I put water like Abhishek, and I would throw it at him, and I took oil and I would throw it at him, and then I would bring carrots and potatoes and would fly it on the ground in front of the wall like it's for you, Narasimhadev ki jai. And in this way, I installed Narasimhadev there on the wall. So it was for me a very nice ritual. And afterwards, I told it some devotees when I came to the temple, and then they listened to it, and I said, "This is really crazy. This is mad. This is insane." I thought, why? It's cool, isn't it? You should glorify. You should say, "Hey, very good. We need more people like this." They said, "This is crazy." Okay, maybe it was a little bit crazy, But still, I was thinking constantly and intensely of Narasimha. Narasimhadev was so intensely in my mind, So he was so present. And then after some time, after some years in my Krishna consciousness here in the temple as a book distributor, I got some struggle in mind, And that struggle in mind led me actually to this, decision, which I in the beginning said we should not follow this instruction of the mind to leave the devotees. So at a certain point, I cannot imagine why. I don't understand why, but it came to this point that I just left. I left the temple. I drove home, and I was kind of really unclear in my mind, and I couldn't understand in what world I'm living. So it was everything too much for me. A struggle in spiritual life, a mental struggle in spiritual life, you could say. So I was driving all the way alone in the middle of the night to my home. It's hundreds of kilometers, train, bus, and here and there, complicated stuff. You feel exhausted, and then at some certain point I couldn't even believe that I'm doing this because I had no desire to do that actually at all. But somehow I came there, and I came to my home, to my apartment, where I grew up, where I lived, where my mother is also living. So I came there, I went into the apartment, I went into the room, and when I went into the room, I looked at the altar, and who was there? Narasimha. I made the whole trip to kind of escape and go away from the devotees in Narasimha, hours of traveling. So I went into the room, I was looking, Narasimha, there he is. He's again there, Does not go away from me, still is there. That was my feeling. I felt really like, bayerischer-Wald, Hridaye-Nisingha. Inside and outside, everywhere is Narasimhadev. So Narasimhadev is accompanying his devotees, does not leave us alone. And that was very, very, very nice experience with the Lord Narasimhadev for me. So yes, now if I thought about to speak on this Bhagavatam lecture, that came so intensely into my mind. So Narasimhadev is so present in our spiritual life, even if we are actually not focused on him to worship. Actually, we focus on, of course, Radha Krishna, maybe Gauranitai. Okay, some are very affectionate to Lord Ram, but basically speaking, we are longing for Sri Radha Krishna, isn't it? So Narasimhadev is, but still, he's so present. He's everywhere, and accompanying us, and the worth of being praised all the time, and that place I want to share a nice incident on book distribution Sankirtan, where Narasimhadev appeared in a very, very interesting way. I was in a small village in Austria distributing at that time alone, and I met a kind of confused person, like young, looking like a mixture of a metal person and a hippie, really dark, black, wearing black, dirty, chains around his body everywhere, and speaking confused things to me. But somehow or other we got in contact and we talked. I don't know why, somehow or other. And he gave me a really good donation. He gave me a pretty big donation for just one book, nearly 100 euros. This is a special guy, I want to spend a little bit more time with him, So he took even more books, and he said he takes it to his home. And I thought, hey, this is a cool guy. Let's invite him for prasadam, So would you like to come with me and eat something? I cooked today or in the morning. So he came with me, and he took prasadam at the van. And then we talked a little bit more, if he likes reading. And he says, yeah, he reads a lot. And then I thought, I must show him the Bhagavatam set. So then we opened the cases in the van where the books are stored. And then I thought, which cantor shall I show him? Which is fitting for him? No, really. I must show him the 7th canto, Narasimhadev ripping apart Hiranyakashipu. I think he really likes it. I think he is really kind of person. So I took the 7th canto, the green volume, and I showed him the book, and he looked at it. He was really surprised. And then he started smiling, and he said, wow, he can really operate. He can really well operate. At that moment, it was like complete glorification of Narasimhadev. Yeah, he is really the best operator, And it was like kirtan, it was sankirtan, it was glorifying Krishna. He was so so dirty, he was so low, you could say, he appeared like that. But he was actually doing the highest activity, he was glorifying Lord Narasimhadev. And that was really ecstatic. And I thought, he is the best operator. He is the best chirurg. Narasimhadev is the best surgery. So in this way, Narasimhadev is constantly also in my life. And I'm very grateful now to have this opportunity to remember this. Actually, I don't remember these incidences so much and all the time. But now I had this opportunity to remember how present Narasimhadev is. And there are some more occasions I can remember. And now we have this wonderful opportunity, of course, to start with our process of remembering our kind of relationship with Narasimhadev, going deeper into it, finding a place in our heart for Narasimhadev, inviting him there on a beautiful golden shining throne, as it is described in the Narasimha Kavacham. Narasimha Kavacham Vakshe Praladam Pura Sarvarakshakaram Punyam, and so on and so on. So there is also said we meditate upon Narasimhadev, situated in our heart. So let us invite Narasimhadev in our heart, let him kind of make his surgery there and operate, and we will be very much benefited by it. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. These were a few words and thoughts from my side. If you have any question or any commentaries to anything which I told, if you want to know how to offer your cigarettes to Narasimhadev or to Krishna, I can now show you also, but we prefer incense or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Or, everyone agrees. Nothing to say. Any question, any doubt? Yes. Yeah, Sanjay.
In the Nectar of Devotion it says that Lord Rama, he bestowed love of Krishna in conjuring mellow upon some sages in the forest.
Yeah.
And it's always said that Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Nrsimhadev, they're kind of special categories at the appearance of the Lord.
Mm.
So, have you ever heard such an outrageous thing that Lord Nrsimhadev, he also bestows love of God in the mood of the Brahman?
What I just heard yesterday from a devotee who was reading a little bit more deeper books in that regard is that Narasimhadev is more related to Vatsalya Rasa. And that this is also what I heard yesterday was very nice, that actually that was the desire of Narasimhadev. He appeared and he wanted to appear and to experience this Vatsalya Rasa. And therefore Prahlad Maharaj is like his son, And this relationship is so intense. I mean, we cannot imagine how intense it is, How dear is Prahlad Maharaj to Narasimhadev. So, but that was the purpose. He wanted to experience this rasa. And also what then was told by this devotee is that from then on, I don't have a proof for that. He said from then on, the Lord always appeared with parents. Okay, we can talk about this and discuss about it, how authoritative this is. I did not check this, but this is what he said. And also, yeah, we see Narasimhadev appeared out of a pillar. That other incarnations of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the son of Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra. He had parents, Krishna, of course. He had kind of even two sets of parents, you could say. Yes. So Devaki and Vasudev and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And he appeared not on a normal way. Like you can see only at this that the appearance of the Lord is not normal. How can he appear out of a pillar? It's no living entity which we know in the material world appears out of matter. It appears that scorpions are born in rice, Prabhupada says, but actually the mother scorpion goes inside there and lays the eggs there. It's not that the scorpions are born out of rice. That's how he describes it. But the Lord can appear from everywhere. He can appear out of a pillar. He can appear out of the heart of a devotee, like in the case of Krishna. He first entered into the heart of Vasudeva, and then from the heart of Vasudeva he went into the womb of Devaki. No, not Devaki. Yes, Devaki. So, but there is one case, for example, when Krishna appeared also through, we say normal way, a seminal way. Anyone knows who this incarnation of Krishna is? Who appeared from the semen of course, big devotee. Yes, Kapila Dev, son of Devahuti. So he can appear out of anywhere and everywhere. But of course, Narasimhadev is obvious. He appeared out of a pillar. So yeah, more I would connect him with the Vatsalya Ras, and that's very, very nice. Licking the head of Prahlad Maharaj. Everyone is afraid of him. Only Prahlad Maharaj goes with the garland. So that's more. Sorry. I don't know what to say. But Narasimhadev and Madhurya Rasa. I don't know.
Not Madhurya maybe, but related to Vrindavan.
Vrindavan. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Maybe someone here knows about something about this. The inhabitants of Vrindavan and Narasimhadev. Anyone heard about this? I don't know. Okay, yes.
It's the first time that I hear that the Lord also having this relationship with us, and not only we can have him as a father, or
Yeah.
that we are the father or the mother in this relationship, but also that the Lord is our father or mother.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, that's very interesting. Also, I heard it yesterday for the first time like this, that Narasimhadev is actually eager for this. And what I remember now is how Prabhupada actually describes it. And he compares it with, in a Christian tradition, it's normal that the Supreme Lord is referred to as the Father. That's normal. But that is what distincts, what is the difference a lot between the Christianity and the Vedas or Krishna consciousness, that it's more that we are the father. Why? Also actually because the parents, they are serving the children. So and the children, they are those who accept the service. So we are the servants of Krishna. We honor those who accept the service. So Father, please take care of me. Father, give me my bread. Father, please give me money. Father, please give me education, like this. No, it's the opposite. We serve Krishna. And even more elaborate, we take care of him. Oh, Krishna, he does not know how to do it. We have to teach him. You have to understand, we must teach him. That is even more, ecstatic for Krishna. That pure love, that you treat Krishna really like your son, who is kind of helpless, who must eat. You must be hungry, you have not eaten so long. Please come immediately home and eat. Do you think you are a boy from the street? Come immediately home. And bring also Balaram. Where are you? So this is actually Vrindavan, more like this. Really, like this is this child. This is our child, and we have to take care of him. He does not understand it. We must teach him. You cannot. He knows everything, He knows everything a lot better than we, And but this is the kind of sweet relationship. And Krishna agrees. I go into this position. But this is not for everyone. You know. You have to be qualified in order that Krishna goes in this position for you. So that is exciting, huh? And that is very interesting. That is such a nice description and understanding of God, which confirms us or confirms me in the kind of really far away and kind of low understanding of God in other traditions. You know, God is our Father. Yeah, but this is even higher than when God becomes your child. You should strive for this. God becomes my child. Wow, it's possible. Yeah. Let's work on this. Wow, how to do that? Except for Krishna consciousness, impossible. That you find in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So that's amazing. Yeah.
There's also the possibility that, for example, Krishna has 6,000 wives,
Yeah.
where he had many sons.
Yeah.
It's also possible that we can become the son of Krishna, that he's chastising us.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely this is possible. Therefore also it is said, you know, at a certain point one has to choose a resident of the holy Dham, Vrindavan, Ayodhya, I don't know. You have to choose a resident and follow his footsteps because you have the really great desire, I want to serve the Lord and be related with him in that relationship. But of course in our tradition, we understand our emphasis is very clear, you know. Vrindavan, especially gopis, this is here. And what is not possible in a spiritual world, in Krishna, you can become his son, you can become a prostitute in Dwaraka. It's glorious, become a prostitute in Dwaraka. Haribol, you know. Where else do you find this, you know? This is only in Krishna consciousness, but it is like this. Once I met a devotee, he said, can you imagine standing with Krishna on the battlefield and fighting with him? Can you imagine? This is like the perfection of life. And I thought, and I listened to him, and I really could see how he's going into it. You know, I could really see him like beaming for it. You know, let's kill them all for Krishna. You know, with Krishna on his side. You know, he was like, wow, my God! I never thought like this. You know, of course I heard about Bhishma and so on. It's quite ecstatic, and it's possible you can develop this desire also. Yeah. So, yeah. What is not possible? I mean, just recently, what's not possible in the spiritual world? So, what exists in the spiritual world that we did not yet hear of? But the point is, we are given the direction which we should go. Prabhupada comes, he tells us, you know, and we are guided, and the goal is clear. Vrindavan, this is clear. Vrindavan, it's the highest. It's described from there, and especially Vrindavan, Mathura Rasa, that is the highest. The gopi is nice. And acharyas all are gopis, you know. So it's clear, but what's not possible? Everything is possible there. For example, how can you be also a devotee of Balaram? We hear so much about Krishna, Radha Krishna, you know, Satyabhama, Rukmini, Krishna. But Balaram is pretty cool also. Balaram is the Supreme Person. He's the elder brother of Krishna, and he's so beautiful, you know. Balaram is so beautiful. But actually, this is for us not really a topic. And of course, it must be possible somehow that you can become maybe a gopi of Balaram or a manjari in the camp for Balaram. Of course, somehow it must be possible, but it's not a big topic for us, you know. Parivida, he likes Balaram. Yeah. Yeah. But that is the wonderful thing. Actually, everything is already described to us, you know. And sometimes I wonder why to look somewhere else for something. I wonder really. I mean, but yeah. Anyway, this is another topic. But everything is given. You may, for example, ask yourself, I don't know so much about Balaram. How I would like to have a relationship with Balaram. Can you? We don't hear so much about Balaram and his gopi. Like we are worshipping Radha and Krishna. For example, then last time we got this question. I got this question. You know, Prabhupada explains in the Hare Krishna mantra there is Ram, and Rama can be Lord Ramachandra. He can be Parashuram, and he can also be Balaram. Everything is okay. And some devotees, I I already met, they have such an intense problem with this, because when they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, they so intensely struggle with finding out Rama and Hare. Because I want to worship Radha Krishna. I want to go to Vrindavan Radha Krishna. But when I chant Hare Ram, who am I actually worshipping there? You know, I must know who is addressed when I chant Hare Ram. Okay, we can think about it now. When you chant Hare Ram and you like Lord Ramachandra, of course, Sita Ram. Who else? That's clear. Okay, but then if you say it's Balaram, okay, who then is Hare? You can chant Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, and you think Ram is Balaram. Ecstatic, nice. I also like it. Balaram is so cool. But then, if Rama is Balaram, who is Hare? He does have a wife, Revati, but Revati is for Balaram that personality who is Rukmini for Krishna. Dwaraka, king. So Revati and Balaram, okay, but we don't say Rukmini Krishna when we chant Hare Krishna, we say Radha Krishna. So then is the question, who is for Balaram that personality who Radharani is for Krishna? That is the question. And of course, we know this is not our emphasis, and there must be an answer to it. Maybe it's even possible to worship Krishna and whoever, we don't know. But obviously, our Guru didn't come to us and explain it to us. Balaram doesn't, Srila Prabhupada is not explaining this. But still, we can think, we see that Prabhupada gives everything. You know, I was thinking intensely on this topic a few years ago. Hare Rama, who is Hare? If Balaram is Rama, who is Hare? Who is it? And I couldn't believe it. At that time, I was just reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then I came to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 10, verse number 53. Adi Leela 10:53. And I read the purport, and then Prabhupada writes about Gadadhar. There is Gadadhar Pandit and Gadadhar Das. Gadadhar Pandit, of course, is clear for every one of us. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. But then he says there is also Gadadhar Das. And Gadadhar Das is the bodily effulgence of Srimati Radharani in person. Chandrakanti is her name. The effulgence of Radharani in person, Chandrakanti, is Gadadhar. And also, we know that sometimes it appears that some personalities are more personalities. You know, like Arjuna is, Ramananda Rai in Chaitanya Charitamrita has explained that he is Arjuna and Lalita in one person. I mean, how can you understand? Doesn't matter, we just accept it. That's what it is. And also Gadadhar does, he is Chandrakanti, the effulgence of Srimati Radharani in person, and the most dear girlfriend of Balaram, Purnananda. Purnananda. And I read this, and this cannot be true now, you know. I was just meditating on this, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, who is Hare when Rama is Balaram, you know, who is the name, what is there are gopis in the person. I read, Prabhupada just writes in the purport, Purnananda is the topmost girlfriend of Balaram. And then he quotes Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, verse number 154 and 155. And there is the verse. It is stated by Srila Kavikarna Purna. Purnananda, the topmost dearest girlfriend of Balaram. So suddenly I got the answer. Purnananda, her name is Purnananda, the topmost gopi of Balaram. So everything is there. Who then can say that Prabhupada did not give us everything? Everything is there, you know, and it's ecstatic. And it continues and gets more and more just by reading. Read his books, get questions, you know. Go into it, you know, look for an answer. And then just in the last days, I was meditating on this point, and I was asking also here, again, because I couldn't remember it. If anyone knows it, no one could tell me. And I was meditating so intensely, where was this in Chaitanya Charitamrita? And I was looking for it. I Googled it. I couldn't find it. I could not find it. And it didn't give me peace, you know. It didn't let me go. I have to find it. And observed myself how I was meditating on the topmost gopi of Balaram all the time, you know. As a Srimati Radharani, and maybe an expansion, and maybe there was something with the bodily effulgence of Srimati Radharani. And I was walking around all the time in the street, yeah, in Linz and there, and constantly thinking of, you know, the internal pleasure potency of the Lord and for Balaram. So I thought, wow, it's pretty ecstatic actually. It doesn't give me peace. I have to find it. And then I checked it, and suddenly, wow, I found it, you know. Adi Lila 10:53. And then I recognized, wow, I'm constantly in thoughts completely with Krishna. And not completely with Krishna, actually with Krishna and his dearest intimate devotee, you know, Radharani, who can be more. It's amazing. So actually this is amazing what these books are doing, huh? So that's nice. So we should, yeah, let's merge our life in this way. Always remember Krishna, unconsciously, consciously. No having no peace in looking for Krishna. Where is it? Where is it? I must find it. You know, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is this? This is very inspiring. So therefore, thank you for this question. Some thoughts of mine. I hope this is okay. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.